I keep saying I need to get new music because I feel like that stops and it's like, and here you are with like nothing to ease us into this moment. There's like no lube from the start of that to the. Anyways, hi guys, hello Melissa, thank you guys for hello my patrons that are showing up. I'm so happy to see you guys here. Hey, it's been a week with some good news, right? I mean, it's very somber week in America, isn't it? Sorry, I'm back this week, and hopefully my internet connection works because I'm here with my good friend Jamila again, and we're gonna have some chatskis about politics because nothing whatsoever has happened. Okay, so it's gonna be chat about politics because politic chat is COVID chat this week. Like I can't tear the two apart. They are one. They have fused, and these are both of our interests. So this is a good. I don't know about you, but like, and this is how I know I'm a bad person. I don't know if you've been doing this, but have you found yourself like refreshing the Twitter feed, like any of the news feeds, way too much? Like you feel like you're eventually gonna get a hand cramp from it.
I got up in the night to use the bathroom, and
Refresh.
I stayed up for an hour between 3:30 and 4:30 in the
That is
morning,
true.
reading through news
Oh my
and
god,
Twitter and everything.
that's
Uh,
impossible.
doesn't it seem like the debates were an hour? Not forgiving you, like a year ago at this
Yes.
point.
Well, worst day, like
I
it's what
mean,
like I had my stream on Friday and I accidentally I was talking. I had my friend Thomas as a guest, and I was like, yeah, last week we found out just a minute before we went live that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. He's like, wait, that was 2 weeks ago. I'm like, time is wibbly. I don't know what time
yeah,
is anymore. Like when like the debates were less than a week ago.
yeah,
The
yeah.
the the Melania tapes were what? Weren't they like a day before we found out Trump and Melania were positive with COVID? And
Yeah,
like I feel like any other administration, that would be a story. It's it's a blip.
yeah.
It never even
I
made the
mean,
news.
just I don't really care. Do you?
Ugh.
Be best. Be best.
It's
Stay positive,
they keep
Trumps.
telling me about the children. I don't care about the fuck you and the fucking children. My God, Melania. Like, I think the best thing we learned about that, though, like, I think it's good that America heard that, or at least the people who were willing to click on that heard that, because now nobody, like, that
Yeah,
facade of she's, poor Melania, she's trapped,
yeah,
she's her husband with a better hairpiece and spray tan. Like,
yeah.
she's
Clearly,
married. She's married to the right guy for her, which is kind of terrifying. There's
uh,
there's a right
well,
person for
there's an
them.
Ava Braun for everyone. Some would say, allegedly, allegedly,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
We would never compare Twitler to Hitler. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh man. Like as I
yeah.
keep saying, I'm not hoping for a bad outcome from this. I'm just coincidentally chilling champagne.
I'm going to say bluntly, look, you know,
That's why I love you.
um, if I know that someone comes into the burn unit and they're horrifically burned and the chances of recovery are low, I'm going to go, oh wow, I've had a burn before, and I know, what the skin grafts and all of that. It's terrible and it's painful. And then if I find out, oh, it was a Klansman whose cross fell over on him, my ability to have sympathy diminishes tremendously.
Yeah, it's like
I can feel your pain while going, you brought it on yourself, non-mask wearing, rally holding,
oh,
uh,
yeah.
people licking blippity blop. I
Like
mean,
they knew this they had every top effort in the world telling them, hey, bad idea. And
masks are fake. It's fake news. It's a hoax. It's going to be gone by Easter.
yeah, and and here, like, I can't with all of these people saying you have to be, you liberals, with wanting them to be nice, and now you can't have any compassion for, where was it? I had compassion when I stayed home for 8 months so that I didn't hurt
Mm-hmm.
anybody who had underlying conditions. Had compassion when I stayed home, and because I have about a dozen roommates, some of whom are older, some of whom have underlying conditions. I had compassion when I followed the fucking rules to help
Mm-hmm.
society. I don't have compassion for this person who is literally, according to
Mm-hmm.
science, the main source of misinformation on this virus.
A super spreader, a
He,
literal, actual, demonstrable super spreader, showed up to events this week,
he,
likely knowing that he was positive.
oh
So,
yeah.
you know, complicit in killing people is not even hyperbole right here. We know. I just want to point out, long time ago, uh, in previous administrations, there
I
were
forgot what
those.
those were like.
I know. We have to tap deep and touch a history book. You know,
Find that memo.
you know. Go deep into our collective American psyche and remember that when the plague of the day was AIDS, and the party
Yeah.
of law and order said, if you
Yes. Yes.
knowingly infect someone, you are a murderer and you should go to jail. You should be
Yep.
tried.
Exactly.
You need to disclose. It is not a private bit of medical information.
Yeah.
It should be public knowledge.
And
Remember when children, hemophiliac children, and
yes.
not just Ryan White, he was the famous one, but there were hemophiliac
Oh yeah.
children being outed in schools. They would have to bring their own lunches. They weren't
It,
allowed to eat off of the same
some
plastic
of them
trays, you
some of them
know,
ended up homeschooling because the abuse and the harassment was so bad. Like,
because
there's just,
they knew they had the plague.
yeah, and of course, just being near them meant you. But like,
Mm-hmm.
that was how we treated disease then, because it was a disease that bad people got, or that we
Mm-hmm.
associated with, quote, bad people. And now that suddenly this Republican administration is spreading it like fucking wildfire, and it's Mike Pence refuses to quarantine Bill Barr, who you can see in pictures blowing snot rockets into his hand next to Kellyanne Conway, who we know from, thanks to her daughter's TikTok, we know is positive. Oh my God. Claudia,
Claudia, if you can
for
hear
everyone,
us, we love you.
Claudia, if you need us, if you need Auntie Jamila or Auntie Yvette
Mm-hmm.
to give you a place to crash, like, we're just,
I am NBC, Claudia. I got you. I
she's
got
right.
you. You don't even have to change schools.
She's right in your area. If you need to get really the fuck far away, I know, I get it. You're trying to get emancipated because you said that you've been abused by your parents, and I would believe it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, California's here for you, dear. Just get yourself emancipated. We have room. Pot's legal. But
Yeah.
sorry, not until you're 18, dear. But
Yeah,
man,
of
like,
course.
that
Yeah.
girl's like, here's that girl. I mean, her parents are both, as much as we hate them, sorry, hate's a strong word. As much as we disagree with them, they're really fucking smart. That girl's going to grow up to be bright. And I feel so bad for her. She did nothing to deserve all of this. And she's just sitting there getting the brunt of this horrible household that she's in.
You know, Claudia Conway is way more common than I think most people know. And um, I went to college. My freshman year, I lived catty corner on the same floor to a girl who was emancipated. Her parents were really, really active in the Ku Klux Klan in Pennsylvania. They were like named in news stories. They were so important. And of course, who did my friend come home in love with? Her mother saw this very good looking boy with awesome kinky hair, and literally tried to beat her daughter to death. Tried hurt the girl so badly. The judge didn't even require the usual parental hearing and whatever. The judge read what happened, saw this as a straight A student. She's already got a college acceptance. She can be emancipated without having to have a hearing. There are a lot of families dealing with this. What we've got now is TikTok and Twitter, and it happens to be a really famous child.
Yeah,
Who looks
we just
so
get to
much
see
like
it.
her mother.
Oh my
She looks
God,
so
right?
much like her mother. It is like,
That was
I'm like, wow, that,
I think it's
yeah.
funny because like we always see someone and we automatically associate it with them with the one who like their hair looks more like she has her mom's hair color. She actually has her dad's eyes, or her dad's eye shape, I think,
Yeah,
from looking at
a,
her. But like,
a bit, yeah. But like when she just
oh
when
yeah,
she's
looks.
talking to the
Oh
side,
yeah,
oh
it's.
my
Oh
goodness, yeah,
yeah, like it's
yeah.
she has a very high voice, and it might be partially because she's 15, but like she has a
Hmm.
very similar voice to her mom, and it's
Yes,
kind of
she does.
adorable. It's
It,
it's
it, yeah.
like as little as like Kellyanne Conway, she's an adorable human, and I think that's why she gets away with all the horrible shit she does because cute
Yeah.
people get away with being horrible.
Oh yes, oh
I know
yes.
this because occasionally I'm cute, but not like look, Kellyanne
Yeah.
Conway. After they refilled her face, I say this as someone who enjoys things injected into my face as
Hmm.
well. She's pretty adorable. Just she
Hmm.
gets away with shit because of it, and I hate that
Yes,
about her.
the conventionally attractive white lady with blonde hair. I mean, Emmett
Yeah.
Till whistled at me, even though Carolyn Bryant was a brunette, but whatever. Um,
It's,
I'm just going to put that there and say,
yeah.
yes, there's a
Oh,
legacy of certain
yeah.
people being able to
Oh,
cause the
yeah.
deaths of others because they're white and female and considered
It's
very pretty.
there's a legacy of people that look like me not being afraid to wander around this world because we know that the police are trained to protect people who look like when a couple here's my example of how like I know that like the world is made for people like me. Like a couple years or a year ago, I was when my headaches were really bad and I just couldn't focus on my work at all. I was working how to phrase this delicately. I was delivering drugs around Los Angeles for a mobile weed delivery company. And here's the thing: for that job, you wandered around, or you in your car, you had a mobile dispensary in your trunk. Like it's a terrifying job because the first time you're like, oh my god, I have $5,000 worth of weed in my car. What the fuck am I doing? This is terrifying.
Hmm.
And you realize at some point, I had coworkers that were browner than me. I was the Karen of weed dealers. I was the only very, very, very white girl there, and I realized I got different responses from customers and different reactions from people wandering through that universe from that. And I'm like, my God, this job it's how to phrase this. This world has been kind of designed to protect me, and that's not okay. Like
Hmm.
that's not an okay thing to have happened at
Well,
all.
it's fine, and I'm going to push back. It is good that the world sees that there are people in need of protection.
It should
The
be
issue is
equal
that
for everyone who needs it, though.
there we go. Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
The fact that I show up in distress
The
and
world,
it's like,
the world should
well,
protect you too. That's the
yeah.
thing. It's like it's
So
good that it protects me. It shouldn't protect me from someone I don't need protecting from because it sees someone who's browner than me as a threat automatically. That's not okay. Like that.
yeah.
Those are the things that are like.
Hmm. Yeah.
Someone I saw in the comments, someone said Breaking Bad too. The side babe years. You know,
I
delivering
mean,
weed, delivering
what?
weed around Los Angeles was an interesting job. I learned how to drive. I learned this. I learned the layout of LA a little bit better after living here for 6 years. But that was a
Awesome.
fun experience. But yeah, it was interesting. Like here was something I found. I had customers occasionally ask me, "So what's this job like?" And none of my other coworkers ever had anyone ask them that. And I figured out they weren't asking me. They weren't like curious what driving delivery was like. They wanted to know what it was like for a Karen. And I'm like,
Mm.
this is an interesting dynamic that is happening in my strange job that I have here. So I have stories from my stand-up routine from my 2.5 months of delivering. Then I quit when somebody got held up at gunpoint, and they refused to report it. The company did not report it to the police. That was that's your fun story from my 2 months of work as a drug dealer.
Wow.
So anyway, back to all the news about the world that's really terrifying and
Oh
horrible.
my God. It's yeah.
I don't even know where to so how about let's talk about something that's not at all contentious and completely established, and we know everything that's going on with it. The president's health.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Dear
Not
leader, fearless leader is in good health and is
yeah.
expected to go back to the Oval Office as soon as tomorrow, Monday.
Oh my god! If you believe that, this is not the page for you. My God! Like,
I don't know
how?
enough about visual stuff. I mean, even
Okay.
in my journalism, I'm an audio girl.
Yeah. Gotcha.
My first job was radio. I mean, I know from
Yeah.
razor blades and now, digital stuff. Um, but people went Warren Commission on the photos released.
Right?
You
That
looked
was.
at his hair. I
Oh yeah.
learned about his
I was.
hair from you.
I
But
was
like,
no, I was wrong on my initial like here's the thing, the hair just might have been that they didn't fix his hair from one day to the next because it looks like the second set of pictures was taken the second day. So I could easily have been wrong.
however, the metadata that people
Yeah.
pulled up to find that the photos released allegedly 2 days apart were actually 10 minutes apart.
No, what they it's no, I think what the administration was trying to say was that see, these are him working throughout the last couple
Yeah.
days, and it was just they were literally taking him, plopping him at one table, putting a jacket on him, putting papers in front of him. One of the pieces of paper was just a blank sheet of paper that he was signing his name to. Then take him, pick him up, plop him in another room, and like it was literally like what a 15-minute photo shoot of him
hmm
being. How can anyone trust this administration and trust what they're telling us about his health when they're staging
See,
photo
and
shoots to
and
make
this
him look okay?
administration that screams fake news, fake news, fake news. This administration that says that we who are journalists are the enemy of the American people. This administration that tells
Yeah.
the Americans for whom we write and broadcast and research that we are not to be trusted is too stupid to wipe its own footprints
Oh my
when
God.
it walks up in the snow to stage a scene.
Yeah. Like just how are they?
Ooh.
And it was hilarious. I saw Ivanka Trump retweeted one of the pictures of her father looking presidential, and she's like, he never stops working for the American people, relentless. I'm like, he has an oxygen saturation of like 85%. He should be in bed with a tube up multiple holes. Okay, he should not be working for anyone right now. We should have 25th him, and Mike Pence should be working, and he should be hanging out. Also, my friend Kimmy just entered the chat, and I'm going to shoot you a call after because I hope you're doing okay after surgery. Anyways, just wanted to
Hey,
just wanted to
Kimmy,
shoot a hello out to Kimmy.
best healing vibes to you. So
just
yeah.
wanted to shoot a hello out to Kimmy. So, anyways, but
Yay.
but yeah, like I don't understand how they're. Let me rephrase this. I know exactly how they think that we're accepting everything they say because it's propaganda, and their base will
hmm
accept whatever, no matter if they're contradictory stories, no matter if they don't make any sense.
hmm
They've accepted everything from hydroxychloroquine to hey, he was being sarcastic about sunlight injections, but
hmm
it's if you look at the science of what they've done day to day. Let's go through the timeline. Like, so what happened
hmm
earlier this week? The debate was on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So 347.
Tooster Day.
So,
Yes.
so
Long.
347 years ago, the debates
Uh-huh.
happened. About
Yes.
it's like if you cut open my forehead and see the number of wrinkles, that's how you know how long. Like I joke like it's as I like to say, white women, our foreheads age like wet dogs smell. Like this is that like it wasn't that Rachel Dolezal was pale that you could tell she was white. It was that you could tell by her eye bag. She was like that was not those were not the eye bags of a 40-year-old black woman.
Forgive me. You did named her. It's Nkechi Amari Diallo.
You're like
I,
I will.
my trans
I will
black
defend
sister
her.
Nkechi, who says that she is a trans black, which I don't like as a modifier, but whatever. It's her identity and it's her authentic self. So Nkechi Amari Diallo, who was known as Rachel Dolezal,
I enjoy
the hair. Look, the
I
hair gave it
enjoy
away.
your years long mocking of her. Like your years long mock standing of her has been so amusing to me, and I appreciate. I stand your standing. Like
It's. Mhm.
but yeah, I like I
I
said.
reached out to her and said, I want to fly to you and let you braid my hair. And the only thing is, I'm disclosing, I am a journalist and I want to bring my audio recorder. So we're not even going to, like, if you jack up my hair, nobody will know unless I choose to let them. But I
What
just want
did you
audio.
respond?
she did respond, and she was very gracious in saying, "You hell no." She was very,
Oh,
yeah. She said that
refreshing.
she'd been burned by a number of journalists who she'd chosen to give interviews to in the past, and
That's
looking me up,
understandable.
found out that I kind of ask questions and don't hold back when I ask them. So,
How dare
um,
you do your job as a
yeah,
journalist?
but the thing about her that I again, Nkechi Amari Diallo,
I'm sorry, I can't
um,
help but laugh every
you
time.
know, is
I
that
have
not
to.
the most American? Is that not the most American story to take your narrative, reclaim it, declare who you will be in this world, and walk forth in your truth as you believe it to be? Kanye West did it. I
It's
mean, how do you take
hey,
how do you take any of the Kardashians,
hey,
any of the Jenner?
Kanye West is trans white. Let's be honest.
Hey, everybody laughs at Michael Jackson. I come from Pittsburgh. My mom grew up with the Grammy Award winning jazz musician George Benson. He's brilliant. This Masquerade, Breezin', George Benson. Look at a young George Benson. He's got lips very thick, very wide, and a nose very wide. I think he looks like a very good looking black man.
Mm.
Look at older George Benson. Those lips are narrow little slits. His nose looks
Huh.
just like yours, to be honest. There's
To,
no way he
to be
hasn't had eye surgery.
to be fair, I've contoured the Jew out of my nose.
Hey,
So it's
I don't know. I haven't.
I say
Me,
this jokingly every time. Like
you can say that. You can say that.
I
I can just say I like, as Beyonce said, I like,
oh
Jackson
yeah.
5 nostrils. I think that noses like mine that are flat
It's
to the face
oh
and
yeah.
kind of buttoned.
It's I
I'm black. I should not have a
I love
nose that looks
them.
like. Yeah,
The
my
only
face looks like my people. George Benson's face used to look like his people. Now he looks like a chocolate dipped Ken doll, and
That's
and
so
that's
weird.
sad.
Like
It's sad.
it's strange what like there's this woman who has like she was one of these ultra like tanning addicted people and now is
Oh
taken like
yes.
I don't remember her name
Oh
because
yes.
she's not worth
She's got the
remembering.
breast implants
Yeah,
and
and they're like
implants, and
weirdly
she's
saggy
trans black. Fine. Well,
and
okay.
and it's weird because if you look at her because of the amount of this like the melanin pills I guess she's taking
Mhm.
like if you didn't know you would think she's not white somehow but you can't tell what
Her
where she's
skin
from.
is very, very, very dark, and you look
Yeah,
and you
you're like
see
what's going on
the
here?
stereotypical phenotype of a Hitler Youth. She looks Aryan
Oh my
AF
god! Yeah,
because
you're right.
she is.
Bright
She,
blue eyes and blonde hair, and
the
it
thin lips,
yeah,
the facial structure, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I joke about it with my optometrist all the time because I've got a wide face, I've got a flat face, I don't have much of a bridge of the nose. Hey, I think I'm cute as fuck. I really like
I
how I look.
I
Whatever.
I
Um,
think you're cute as fuck too.
well, thank you too.
I
Likewise. So
I
wear.
like having you around because I like looking at your face. So
Hey,
I'm just saying.
as soon as this is over, we're getting together. But like, I wear
Yeah.
Asian. Do you know that there's a such thing as Asian fit eyeglasses?
Yes, I do. It's
Okay,
because they have a flatter nose bridge. Yeah.
flatter nose, and the angle of the lens
Yeah.
is actually
To
greater.
yeah.
Yeah, so that you don't get the
It's,
dents under your eyes after a long day
I
wearing glasses.
I don't know if you can see it in the chat, but people are saying that you're cute as fuck. Just to let
Oh
you
my
know,
god,
it's that
I'm too
like
ADD to read chat, so I have to make it.
like if I ever like kind of like blank out for a second, because I'm trying to go back and forth between you and the chat. But
No,
like it's like here's the thing. Like the only reason I contour my nose, it's not the size, it's that one side is like it's asymmetrical, and I'm like
yeah.
it's just like and that's the like for I've just gotten so used to going I'm just gonna contour it until it's symmetrical, and then sometimes look at it and go, how did my nose get this tiny? This is not the right size for my face. But like
Yeah.
I used to hate my nose because it was so big, and then eventually I was like, nah, this is the right nose for my face. I just want it to be the same size on both sides. But
Exactly,
no,
and it's but we live in a culture that tells particularly women,
Yeah.
You're ugly, use our lipstick. You stink, use our deodorant.
Yeah.
You really stink, ladies, use our super feminine plumbing doucheliciousness here that smells like,
Super feminine plumbing
you
doucheliciousness.
know, I
We're
mean,
marketing that. We're
exactly.
making
It
that
smells
product.
like summer sunset on an open sea. It's like, you know what? No, look, I am. There's a healthy woman scent. I
Yes.
know what that is, and it's fun. I don't need to go plugging stuff up there. You know, I
I
I
mean,
I
I
have
mean,
a
some
wide flat face. I'm going to wear my Asian fit eyeglasses so I don't get the dents at the end after I've been reading and looking down all day. You know, I like the way my face looks. I'll put some makeup on, not because I want to look different or whatever, but I want to
ma-
accentuate what I have. So
you know,
whatever.
makeup makes us feel good about ourselves, and there's no reason to apologize for it ever, and there's no reason to
Hmm.
look at it as a thing that's changing like ourselves for the rest of the world. It's like
Exactly.
there was a thing that I read once ages ago that women in prisons they're not putting on makeup to try to like look prettier for other inmates or for the guards. They would blow prison guards to get makeup. Like, so it's this
Mm.
weird thing where people like to, just no matter where they are, what they're
Yeah,
doing in the world, just want to look and feel better about themselves. Like,
exactly. It's
it's for
fun.
themselves.
I
But
mean, the fact that you dig up anthropologists, I haven't done it. I haven't done it. You know, but anthropologists dig
yeah,
up old societies and find
yeah,
decorations on skulls and
yeah,
shaping of teeth, and you've got babies in their headboards that flatten and extend
yeah,
the shape of the head. People will adorn and look good
yeah.
and do it. And I just want to say, you know, every single bodybuilder to have competed in the past 30 years has made their skin as close to black as possible. And, you know, they wipe
It's
it
like
off at the
we're
end
not.
of the competition
Yeah,
and it's
we just.
done.
It'd be
You know,
nice if we knew, like, it's like what's the skin tone that everybody is aiming for? We don't like. It's just,
no,
can we just stop being dicks about the fact that some of us are darker and lighter than each other, and some of us are different shit.
yeah,
But like, apparently that's not a thing we can do as a society
no.
yet. So we gotta
Well,
keep yelling about it
yeah.
for a while. But I
I've
like.
just,
Hey, I
yeah,
like your flat nose. I think it's adorable, and
thank
I
you.
like everything about you. I think it's adorable. You're one of my favorite
You
humans. So,
likewise, and
so.
I swear we're
I I
you
feel
know,
like we bonded instantly when you introduced me on stage. I was like, I like
yeah,
her and I want to hang out with her. And you're one. It's I like I am bad at talking on the phone to people, and you're one of few people who I talk to on the phone.
oh my
So
God, yeah,
yeah,
I will wear that Gen X badge with pride that I love
still a
the
phone
phone.
person.
I love the phone. I like that episode of the Brady Bunch where Mr. and Mrs. Brady put a payphone in the family room because the kids were on the phone too much. I mean, my heart still hurts to
Nice.
think about that. But
Oh
yeah,
man.
like, but you know what? I will say, and there's a scientific fact about this. You know, as humans have to adapt, particularly through COVID and the isolation that we feel or whatnot. One of the things that we see that's happening, and I'm very happy to report, I have a Gen Z kid, and those kids are learning to talk on the phone. Those kids are
Oh,
learning to connect to people with
nice.
whom they're not in proximity, and they're having longer conversations. Because you can't, you know, I mean, unless your parents are Kellyanne Conway, I mean, you don't get to go out and party with your friends. So, that's just an allergy cough, I'm sure.
It's that some
I'm
morning.
sorry.
Don't like
Yeah.
it's funny because I've cut down on the cannabises in the last few days because I've been like, I've been getting a little forgetful on the live streams. Like the number of times I've been like, where I forgot the thing I was saying 4 seconds ago. Where was I? I should maybe cut the pot down to just 7 joints a day. Like bring it down a little bit. But
You
yeah,
know, I've never smoked a joint. I just it's eh, I've never met a rum
I'm
I didn't like though.
I'm
So
just
you know,
like,
we all
look,
have
we
our
can.
things.
It's
Oh,
I'm planning. I've already been planning to have, and I don't know if you have plans for this night or not. I was planning on doing an election night live stream, in which we are just getting ourselves wasted while watching the election results roll in. Do you want?
oh.
I wanted to get a few journalist friends to join me. Would you
I can
consider
join. I can
if
join, but
if you
I'm
end
going
up?
to be totally
Oh
straight
yeah,
while I'm doing it though.
Okay.
I'm
It's like
sorry.
I'm gonna be smoking pot. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like look, 2016, we had an election night party and I saw people's psyches shatter and not go back to normal
Mhm.
on my in my living room in Burbank. Like I have seen people not go back to the humans they were before in the last 4 years. Like
So
it
my
was, yeah.
40th birthday was the day after Election Day 2016. Okay.
Oh,
So
oh.
people were openly weeping and into pre-corona, of course, people were
I,
openly
wa-
weeping
I
into
wanted
the
you to say to
salad bar
people,
at Whole Foods.
oh my God. I wish
It
you'd said to
was
people, how do you think I feel? I'm 40 now. My life is over.
they told me life begins at 40 and now I have no I mean
Oh
it was
man.
I was literally standing there. I mean, men, women,
It's
everybody was like the power, because I mean I'm in DC, you know, and so I'm shopping at the gayest, most racially integrated Whole Foods in the city that has the highest rate of coronavirus infections of the Whole Foods employees, which are counted as Amazon infections. So when you anyway, that's a rabbit hole I'm not going down right now because it's depressing. But you know, so me and I remember. I'm standing there and I'm trying to put the salad in there, but the kale, I'm waiting for the spicy kale salad to come back out, and I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to cry, and I look over and there's clearly a gay couple because they're hugging each other and giving kisses on the cheek and the mouth, and they're two men, and I look at them and they look at me and I look at them and we just throw our heads back and just start crying. And I mean the tears. It was like the cartoon. You know what is it? Inside Out, where the sadness throws her head back and tears fly to the side of her face. I mean it was awful, and um and I just had to remind myself, you know, we still have structures in place. We still have institutions that are there to protect us. We still have a democracy. And even right now, it's on the ropes and its lip is fat and its nose is bleeding and its hand might, its dominant hand might even be fractured, but it's still in the ring. And we cannot throw in the towel. We
Yeah.
have to go and vote. And we have to give me the opportunity to do my damn 40th birthday over again, because I haven't aged since then. I'm not counting it
It's
until I get to be like, woohoo,
I
yay, you know.
I've been keeping my forehead in stasis since the Trump administration started with absurd amounts of neurotoxin. I've decided I'm staying 28 for a while. Like I'm not
Yes.
trying to stay 23 forever. All I want is the forehead of a
Mhm.
stress-free 23-year-old who has never missed a night of sleep. That's
Oh,
all
yes.
me.
That is not too much to ask. That is
It's
not too much to
that
ask.
is I mean I'm never going to get it, but I want it.
Well, you know, I come from some really long-lived people. One of my cousins was he just turned 103. And you know, yeah,
Wow.
literally, he's a World War II veteran. He fought in the segregated U.S. Army. I'm sorry, Navy. He was and he fought fascism the first time around.
Wow.
Um, and
Oh, I think you posted a picture the other day.
yes, I did. I did.
I just like that just filled my heart. I'm like, oh, it's like
You
just
know, so
I want COVID to be over so I can hug that man. You
oh
know?
man, you know exactly. So I missed his birthday party. I've missed funerals.
Oh,
I've missed weddings.
same.
People have postponed their weddings and
My
whatnot, and
my
I'm doing
my
that
last
because
yeah. My
yeah,
last
you're
great aunt in Canada, I had a generation of 12, you know, of 2 dozen great aunts and uncles. The very last one died around the beginning of the pandemic, and I can't go until this is over. Like it's just
yeah.
and here's the thing: I know I'm one of a zillion people who's going through this right now, between both people who have died from COVID and people
Mm-hmm,
who have died from other things, and people who you're just not getting to see, and you're worried might die because they're getting older. And like my mom is 69. Nice. I look, I get to make that joke for a year. I'm going to make it every time I say her age because I'm a terrible person. But anyways, my mom is 69, nice, and I'm terrified that even though she's in as good of health as you can, like
Yeah.
she's in such good of health, it annoys me almost. Like just
Oh.
not because I want her to be in bad health, but because like the only thing that's wrong with her ever, and like I have a zillion things that I have to like take meds for and go to doctors for. She occasionally gets a sore knee.
Mm.
She's 5'7", has weighed like 128 pounds forever, like has genes from the late 80s that still fit, have never like has just she's just, has the blood pressure of a teenager, is like super, super healthy, which makes me happy. But also like, and that means that comforts me that that she's in the group of people that is less likely to have a bad case. But statistically, when you get past a certain age, your chances of having a bad case of this go up no matter what. And that terrifies me. And so I'm not going to visit my mom until one of us is immune. And so I'm really happy that I'm going to that I'm in the vaccine trial and I'm possibly getting vaccinated tomorrow. So this is so exciting.
Do it for science.
I'm doing it for science, and I'm doing it for science, and I'm possibly doing it, because I want immunity. Like, look, I will take that risk if I can possibly, look, being in I look at this and go, billions of people are going to get these vaccines. I'm in the first couple of thousand, which is kind of, it's a little scary, but also like I could end up with the placebo, but fuck, the thought of not getting this disease makes me so happy. Oh, I have a wonderful husband who just brought me coffee and it's iced. It's iced coffee too. He's just, I can't not brag on my husband. He's just like, it's my, he
is the lucky one. You just remind him of that.
Let's be clear. We are both very, very lucky. Like I know, like no matter what someone will say, like you're the lucky one. He's like, no, we both lucked out finding each other. Absolutely. I like to think he's pretty neat. And like I said, like I think I told my patrons this the other day. I hate doing paperwork more than anything else in the world. And the thing about getting married is that in order to get out of it, you have to do paperwork. So anytime, what is it, honey? He said that makes me feel so loved. I'm like, it's like, so anytime I argue with him, I'm like, I would have to do paperwork to not work this argument out. So it makes me really motivated to but no, I know like people say this, but like I love him more every day. Like the more like it's weird to have someone who understands my brain inside and out like this, who can predict my behavior before I do, and like who I feel like I can do the same for him. And like these are not things I understood before my marriage. So like I feel so lucky. But yeah,
that's so cute.
But like I'd never had a relationship really before this that lasted longer than a year. So I never lived with. So like my husband's been like, he's been my rock through all the SciBabe stuff. So I feel very lucky, is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna tear up if I start talking about my relationship too much, because it makes me so happy. So it's one thing that's been really wonderful in my life for the last hellstorm of
exactly. And I'm holed up in a little 3-people pod, me, hubby, and boy Spawn, and
family.
And there are a lot of people who recognize that this COVID time has made them realize, what? Yeah. Life is too short. I'm doing stuff I want to do, and you ain't it no more. Unfortunately,
people are reevaluating. They're like, I only got so much time left on this planet.
Yeah. And you are just, oh man, Corona has made me reevaluate the life I am leading.
You're in grad school now.
It does. I think I'm on the right track in a lot of ways, but like I've enrolled. I'm a grad student now. I'm going to school for something I've wanted to do since I was 5 years old.
Makes me so happy for you.
Thank you. I am a really, really, really amazing cook. I am phenomenal. My food, the flavors are unparalleled. My food isn't the prettiest. I kind of put it on the plate, however.
Hey, pretty doesn't count. I want to know if it tastes good. Like,
yeah, the taste is amazing. And it's like, and I'm like, I've put on all this weight. And it's like, well, I am a big fan of intermittent fasting. I'll do a couple of 7 days
Yeah,
no food
like
and get it off me. But
like I know how you are with diets. Like it's like there are times when we're more stressed out and we eat more, and you like
mhm.
when you've done IF, like it's worked really well for you,
Oh
and it's
my
like
God,
yeah,
amazingly.
it's like you feel. And here's the thing: like I'll tell people with IF, there's no magic to it. It's just some
Mm-mm.
people do really well with fasting, like mentally,
Hmm.
and it's like it helps you eat less. And it's like as long as you're making sure you're getting enough nutrients, either through some vitamins, like make sure
Hmm.
you're getting enough electrolytes, make sure you're getting enough water, please. And like if you're feeling dizzy, okay, obviously
Yeah,
get some, like talk to a doctor, consult with all that good stuff. But like there's no, especially with IF as opposed to complete fasting, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It really
right.
does. I've seen it work really well for some people. It's just like, and I kind of
Yeah.
accidentally do intermittent fasting because I'm just not hungry most of the day.
Right.
So
And and it's very much about listening to your body.
yeah.
And don't, if for some reason you find it
Simon
through a
has entered the
guru.
chat. I
Hi
always have I
Simon.
always have to announce when mom's arrived.
Hi Simon. I'm so glad to see you in the well, I can't see you in the chat because I'll start reading the chat and then forget what I say. So,
Oh, it's
you
don't
know,
worry. The number of
you know,
times I forget what I was saying, and then I was like,
yeah.
"Guys, I'm sorry that I interrupted myself and forgot what I was saying. Where was I?" But it's
Exactly, but like the cool thing that I'm finding, is the COVID thing, because I'm hell bent on finding a reason
yeah.
to not just fall over and moan, in the fetal position.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's made me recognize that there are people who are in my life that I want to spend more time with, that I want to reach out to spend time with. There are people that I never need to say a damn word to again. I don't care how we're connected.
Yep.
Um, there are things I
Let's
want to
go and
do.
let's God.
Exactly. I've been cooking amazing things and just
Yeah.
enjoying. I joined this Facebook group called Black Women Who Love Table Settings. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I'm about to be
I
Martha
just
Stewart meets
I
Snoop
want
meets Megan the Stallion
to.
up in
I
this
just
piece.
I want to like I know I can't sneak into that group. So can you send me
No, no, no.
pictures? I just can you sneak me in undercover
I
at
can,
night? Can you tell them I know how to
absolutely.
use salt and paprika? I promise.
Yeah, if you
I don't put
in the
raisins.
question,
I do not put
yeah,
raisins in my potato salad. I
yeah,
promise.
and you can season your food. Well, you Cajun. I mean, you're,
Oh yeah, I'm
yeah,
half. My mom's side is Acadian, which is basically the Cajuns that did not move south. But yeah,
yeah. So y'all know how to season your food. That's
I
close
I
enough.
know how to salt. I know how to use salt, butter, and garlic. God damn it.
Oh yeah, garlic goes in everything.
Oh
Garlic
yeah.
goes in everything.
If you do not add garlic, it's for me like if I am out of garlic and paprika, it just means I'm not cooking. Like
Right,
that's just
right.
if there's no salt in the kitchen, like what do you mean there's cooking happening right now? That's but
Oh,
like
you know.
I've made like the last week I've made bacon a couple of times because I was out of bacon grease and I needed to collect more
Ooh.
bacon grease.
Oh
So
my! See, do
I
you
have
have it in a
I
metal tin?
I have a
That's.
mason jar of like I have it's and it so I mean you need like that's the thing like
Hmm.
if you're gonna make bacon there is no like first of all make it in the oven. It's the best way to get it really crispy, and number two it's the best way to at least in my opinion to render out that bacon fat so that you don't
Yeah.
burn it. So I like to put it into the oven on
Right.
broil. It gets that fat out really quickly, gets a nice crispy flavor on that bacon, and it gets if you're like I said if you're doing it especially to render the bacon fat off, oh it gets it
Hmm.
off really quickly without burning it. So I
Rendering fat is so important.
oh yeah.
Even when you're baking chicken, people, I
Yeah.
don't understand how you can bake chicken and make it dry. Like, what the hell are you doing?
It's
You're supposed to don't cut all the
yeah,
fat off. Leave on some of
yeah.
the skin.
It's
Let that fat render and soak through.
yeah.
But see again, okay,
It's
vegans, leave me alone. Rendered fat,
like
and
and
then
look,
you drizzle
here's
it
the thing.
over your veggies, and
Like
it's perfect.
and look, here's the thing. Like there are people who are vegans for ethical reasons. And look, I don't
Mhm.
let's not get like for anyone who's watching this who's a vegan for ethical reasons, we're not gonna get into an argument.
Do
You
you?
follow
Do you?
you do you, we'll do us. And for if you're a vegan for health reasons, you do you, we'll do us. Like,
Mhm.
if we have heart attacks, you can laugh at us later. We did it to
Mhm.
ourselves. We fucked around and found out. That'll be the that'll be the answer. Okay. We made
Ah,
decisions. But like it's there's I look at this and go, life is like, especially with with the lockdown, like I have
Mhm.
eaten so much, I would say kind of bad for me stuff because I'm like, what if I get the COVID and I lose my sense of taste and smell? Because there are people who have lost it for months. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what if I lose like the beginning of this? Like I ate so much junk food because I'm like, what if I can never again eat a fruit roll up and taste it? That was like,
Mhm.
no, I can't do it. So there was just so much
Yeah.
baking in my kitchen because I'm like, this could be the last banana bread I ever enjoy. It
Well,
was
yeah.
a very strange time.
And it's not over. And it's nowhere near over. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Americans, y'all live in a shithole country with no leadership.
Oh my god, I made a joke
Yeah.
on my page yesterday about like it's because there was a tweet saying there are more cases of whatchamacallit of COVID in the White House than there are in all of New Zealand, and I posted that tweet with the hashtag shithole country, and I was referring to America, and I think some not all of the replies from Kiwis, but some New Zealanders thought I was
Mhm.
referring to New Zealand, not
Oh my
America.
goodness.
I'm like,
No,
guys,
no.
no, yeah,
You
I'm
invented
so
the haka.
happy
You
for
can't
you.
be a shithole country. Like,
I
no.
love you guys.
Yeah.
I just I want you guys to get me in there. I love, but like no, it was just yeah. There's we live in a shithole country, and it's amazing.
Yeah, 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 you do.
Oh man,
Um, looking at, Disney cut 28,000 jobs this week.
what? How did I? Dear God,
The Disney
there's been
Corporation,
so much news. I missed
okay,
this.
so down in Orlando, Florida,
Oh, of course,
okay,
yeah, that would do it.
28,000 jobs.
Oh my God.
However, they've brought executive salaries back up to where pre-COVID was. Now, there are motels down in Orlando, Florida. There's no emergency housing there's no home there are no homeless shelters down there. So all of these
Jesus.
Disney workers, all of these hotel workers, all of these people
They're gonna be screwed very soon.
they are screwed. They're living for 2 weeks at a time
And
in
these are people who
hotels
these
and
are lower
motels.
these are lower
Yeah.
income people because of course, people who are working hourly for hotels and Disney
Uh-huh.
pay is not very high. I
No,
remember
it's not.
because I have a theater degree, one of the places I applied to work as one of the actors right out of college. So I'm like, maybe someone will hire me to be funny and theatrical. I auditioned for Disney, and the pay there is very low. They're like they try to
Yeah.
tell you it's competitive. They're lying, but
No.
people will draw like if people there lose their jobs, they don't have savings. They
No.
either have to move back in with family, which who knows if they who knows if
If
they're
they
living
even
in a place
have family.
yeah, or if they're
Yeah.
living in a place that's quarantined right now, or if they can
Mhm.
get back there with the amount like it's going to be a nightmare. And these are people who, if they're lower income, are going to tend to vote Democrat because
Mhm.
obviously those policies work better for them. And all of a sudden they're going to be jobless and
You
possibly
would
homeless.
think. You
This
would
is
think.
this is all going to be a little
Yeah. So
nightmare.
all of these people down there, and the point that I want to make sure I make, they're living for 2 weeks at a time in these motels because the minute
Yeah,
you're somewhere 15 days, you can claim residency,
yeah,
which means that they've got to evict you to get you out. So there are tens of thousands of people with their families, their children, their loved ones on dialysis
yeah.
who have to move around to make sure that they're not residents of where they're staying, and they can't save any. It's hard to save money when you got to pay nightly, and
Yeah. Yep.
this is the happiest place on earth. Um, let us hope that there's not a corona outbreak in these motels around the Disney plantation, or what is it called? The Disney World. Disney World. I misspoke. I'm
Say it
sorry.
louder for the people in the back, Jamila.
I mean, Florida. Yeah.
Oh my god! So fun story. So there are times I like to say there are times when white people have an awakening about the fact that they perhaps didn't see the world through they saw the world through, shall we say, their very white-centric point of view. And one way that I figured that out was by going to Disney World for a day with a Black friend and seeing the difference in customer service to him
Mm.
versus me. Do you know Sincere Carabo from the
Yes,
Atheist?
I
Yeah.
do.
Oh,
Yes, I do.
I love Sincere so much. We were both speaking at a conference down in Florida, and like I was flying from a conference in Philly down to Florida, so I got there a couple days early to go to Disney. We crashed in a hotel together and went to Disney and ran around, and it was interesting to see like there was a clear difference in how like, and I've been to Disney a lot, like I know
Mhm.
what to expect from customer service, and just
Mhm.
over and over and over and over again, every
Mhm.
interaction we had with park employees, it was different for how they treated him, than how they treated me. Like we sat down for lunch in like one of the nicer restaurants in the Italian section. They left the table before taking his order, like they were ignored. Like literally, we were clearly sitting down for dinner. It's not like we were sitting down just for. They left before taking his order. Never, but like it was just the number of little things that went around, and it was the Food and Wine Festival, the annual big festival. There is a booth, and it's the international food. So there's a booth for every country on the planet. There's a booth for Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. There's one booth for Africa,
Mhm.
as though it's a
Mhm.
country.
Yes, because
Oh man.
because if you don't have friends from Ghana and Nigeria and Cameroon arguing over, whose jollof and whose fufu is best, then like
Yeah.
I, and
Yeah.
I think of the fights that happen between New York, New Jersey, and Chicago pizza, and then try and have an American pizza booth somewhere. Get out of here with
Yeah.
that.
It was just
And to be blunt, I know nothing. I love world cuisine.
oh yeah.
I am really, really, really great at Asian cuisines.
Mm.
The various African cuisines. I know nothing.
Same.
Yeah,
I'll throw
here
ignorance on the court.
in DC, there are a lot of Ethiopian restaurants or whatnot, and I don't have the palate that can
Oh, I love
understand. Yeah,
like I don't know a thing about how to cook it, but I know whenever someone's like, "We're going up for Ethiopia," I'm like, "What time? I'll be there." It's
I'm
so
like,
that's
oh
like
yeah.
it's like it was the one thing that I think capped off the experience of, oh man, this place is doesn't understand. It's like we went to there's the American section at Epcot, and they have this hall of presidents, and they have this stage show that's all animatronic, and like they're showing this little show of all the things that have happened in the course of America, and then, like I think they're presenting it as though it's inspirational, and this was right after Trump took office, and they're like it's like every single thing of strife and whatnot that happened. They're like America had the Civil War and it was hard and we pushed on, and America had this thing where we pushed across the country with the Indians and it was hard and I'm like, and they'll mention the Trail of Tears and the Civil War and like and Jim Crow and like everything they mentioned, they're like it was hard on America but we pushed on. I'm like, why don't you mention the people that you were bad to? Like,
Why
and it's
don't you mention the fact that you cleared out all these damn orange groves that black people and brown people owned to put up your amusement park? Like you want to look. I'm not looking at you, New York, right now, but I'm going to say the word gentrify. Look at who Disney put. Disney tried to come into DC or adjacent to DC in Oxon Hill, Maryland, and make like America Town or America something.
Yeah.
And as quiet as it's kept, the area around DC is very, traditionally rural. It's a lot of farmland or whatever. True, nobody's farmed it in 200 years because emancipation. But, that's the landscape. And Disney tried to come in and do some stuff. It didn't work out for them. They let it go. Who did they displace to get all of their stuff?
I wonder. It's just they had things so quick note, you guys. I know that there is a troll in the chat who's calling liberals murderous pedophiles. Ignore him. He wants attention for his craziness, and don't feed it. He needs
Just
He need
don't look.
this Neil needs psychiatric care, okay? We shouldn't it's not nice to pick on the mentally infirmed, okay? So let's not draw attention to this. I understand it must be a very difficult time for his family to understand that to accept that he's going through this mental change where he's starting to hallucinate that random people are murderous pedophiles. So please be kind to this poor soul who has lost his way and is hallucinating about everything in the world and has forgotten the fact that our president was charged with raping a 13-year-old girl and thinks that the Democrats are the pedophiles. You fucking piece of shit, Neil. Get the fuck out of here. Go talk to someone who gives a shit about your opinion. Go to Parler, okay? Go to where they want those people who are free speech advocates. Okay, get the fuck out of here. This is how I occasionally like to yell at people in hopes that they will be entertained so that they will support me on Patreon. By the way, patreon.com/SciBaby. We do an extra live stream every month for the patrons, and we also have patron exclusive chat on Discord. So just wanted to throw that out there after I yelled at the troll. Anyway, finish this conversation. So let's wanna quickly speculate on how sick Trump really is.
Let's. One of the doctors.
The way you bit into that word was just delicious. So.
Here's the thing. I've been trying very hard to stay away from the Sunday shows. I tend to have good friends that watch them and then digest them, and I trust their judgment and find out what happened from these folks. Yeah. But I was watching the press conference, and one of the doctors, and I don't take notes like I usually do because I need my mental health and I want to be a good mother on the weekends at least. Yeah. And so one of the doctors was an anesthesiologist, and I'm going, you don't let an anesthesiologist speak if there's no reason to anesthetize the patient.
Yeah.
So if we're speculating,
really
I don't think it's strange.
I mean, let me rephrase it. What's really strange is how bad these people are at optics. Like you would like one of the people who, and I mean, as much as he's evil, and we had a chat about him earlier, as much as he's kind of evil, Roger Stone is one of the people who advises for this campaign, and he's like the only thing, if he knows only nothing, it's political optics. How is he helping this campaign out if he can't even tell them, hey, you need to get your you need to get your shit together when you're getting propaganda out? I'm seriously.
Don't mess up the timeline. Don't say he didn't know. Well, 72 hours when he was diagnosed. But the math doesn't work. That means that he knew when he was at the fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
Well, no more questions.
Like
it's
there's,
can you you're friends with the Kims? Like figure out how they do propaganda. You're doing it badly.
Yeah, it's like I look at this all and it's like, so let's start at the beginning with it. They've announced to us kind of the handful of things that are wrong with him, and it's like it's hard to kind of piece together how sick he is from that. So beginning of the week, he's at the debates, and there are a couple things that are weird about the debates. And we talked about this a bit on the stream on Friday, but like it was so early in this whole thing. I don't think he'd been hospitalized yet. Like on Tuesday, they go to the base, and everyone has to get there early enough to get tested. Trump and company get there late enough on Tuesday so that nobody's tested. Everyone sits down in the hall and takes off their masks. And because these people get tested allegedly on a daily basis, you would think, given how sick Trump is now, that he could have. It is easy to assume that he would have known, or that someone would have known in that party that they were sick already. That seems like a safe assumption. Or like it wouldn't be strange if someone there knew they were sick already. So they go to this debate. Somebody is probably symptomatic or knows they're sick. Everyone takes off their masks, and that's like. It gets there. It seems like an odd collection of things to have happened all at once. Get there late enough to not prove you're safe, and don't get tested. And it's the very next day. I think was it the next day that we hear Hope Hicks is sick, or was it Thursday?
The time blurs, and I don't want to be wrong.
It's three. Like it's within
it's within 36. It's within 36 hours. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's not that long from there that we hear. It was Wednesday that Hope Hicks was quarantined
Okay.
quarantined on. I remember seeing all the headlines. Wednesday quarantined on Air Force One, and I think by Thursday Trump was traveling to, like, it was either Thursday or Friday. He was no,
Wednesday night there was the fundraiser that
yeah.
he attended.
And at that point, he'd been tested, and they knew he'd been exposed to someone who was positive, and he went.
Hmm.
He had to have been positive. Goes to a fundraiser where there are over
Hmm.
100 people who've donated $5 million to him. So each of them have donated at least $250,000 to him with this. They're probably old rich white guys, so fuck them. It's like these are all old rich assholes who are willing to donate $250,000 to a fascist. So, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And then after flouting the rules, knowing he's been exposed to a person, goes home and is sick. Let's see, Melissa just said Thursday he was traveling. So Thursday he's traveling. They find out, is it Thursday night that they find out he's sick, or was it Friday? It was Thursday night?
It was Thursday night. It was Thursday night, I know, just because of work I had to get done.
I can't believe it's been like less than 72 hours, and this is all...
Yeah, Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, actually. No, it was 1 a.m. when the story broke. And again, I've got to stop reading my phone when I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Dude, never mind going to the, it's funny, a few times in this chat, like, I've checked, and this is just because, like I said, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died a minute before our stream started a couple weeks ago. Like, now, because everything's moving so fast, like, I'll occasionally, middle of the thing, just go and refresh the trending screen on Twitter to be like, is Trump, is like RIP trending? Like, what's happening? Like, I have to check. I can't, like, it's like, what if it happens while we're live in stream? Like, I can't miss that.
Last week when we were supposed to, like, have our conversation, we were talking about the news industry and whatever it is, and then I'm like a perma-lancer and I'm here and there, whatever. I was doing some work for Slate this past week.
Nice.
And I can say that because if you Google it, it comes up with my name on it. So, like, you can't hide that I was working for them. But, one of the executives came out and said, look, as this, we have to prepare for all scenarios. We've got to prepare in case this president dies. We've got to prepare in case this president, recovers and gets well. But we have to have contingencies in place. Yeah. And the reality is that, it's there are people who are going, oh, well, you shouldn't gloat and you can't wish. It's not about gloating.
Sorry, just there's something deep in my throat, like 4 years of bullshit.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, look, when you know that there's an airborne virus that happens in close proximity, and you ridicule the person you're in a debate with for wearing a mask, when it's really easy for me to go and pull a whole bunch of sound bites and edit together a montage of you belittling, I don't think the masks work. Masks are, I get tested. I'm not near people. I'm
2
okay.
days, and 2 days before, he was making fun of Joe Biden he was wearing, every time you see him, he's wearing the biggest mask you've ever seen.
The biggest mask.
He should have been wearing a bigger mask that day at the debates. Like, I'm terrified because people are like, people have been saying, Joe Biden and like, people are like, oh, these people have tested negative. They've tested negative so far. Biden is not out of the woods yet from this. I'm terrified about that. Like,
there is a latency period. There's the incubation period that happens. And these.
It's like we got to cross our fingers on this for about 10 days to feel like we're in the clear.
Yeah, so we just, if only science had told us this. There's a lot we don't know about this coronavirus. We have no idea what are long-term effects. We don't know for example, what effect does it have on fertility? I've got a young child. No idea. What happens if his friends get this? Are they going to be infertile when they, go through puberty? Yeah. We don't know. We
really don't.
But we do know that if you keep your ass home and you don't go having big old rallies and you wear a mask, and you stay away from people. And even if you're outside, you don't stay there in one place for a long time. And we know that if you go into the grocery store and you kind of keep moving and you get your stuff and you leave and you don't breathe in the same air, and especially if you go to a place with high ceilings, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us, we got scared at first because we didn't know how it spread. And as we've gotten more information, we've adjusted our behavior. Like, I'm less scared to go to the grocery store than I used to be. I'm like, at first I was like, I'd see someone walking down the street and I'd cross the street because it was like, we just did not know how it spread. And as we've known more, we've adjusted. But like I said, and as you just pointed out, we don't know the long-term ramifications on this. So I would hope that we're taking proper precautions as we go with it. But some people instead, their method is fuck around and find out. And I don't understand how that's the preferred method of handling it.
In the Black community, though we are not monolith, the southern ones of us, and
I expect that you're speaking for every Black person when you're here.
Yeah, totally. But right now I'm calling out my southern Black folks because we got a saying. Though I am a Pittsburgher, was raised by Southern people, and my sensibility is Southern, so it goes like this. It goes, the Lord gave you 2 ears to listen, and you ain't used neither one of them.
Oh my God. Oh.
I don't even believe in a Lord. I am a raging heathen, but that I will say.
And I believe you. I believe
you ain't used neither one of them.
Yeah.
You should have listened.
It's
LISTENT. You should have listened.
They fucked around and found out. I love that that's become the phrase everyone's throwing around now. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and they had every warning. I cannot be compelled to feel bad for these people.
Scientists were getting death threats.
Oh yeah, I got
threats.
The scientists
because this White House.
Yeah. It's various people who work for the I believe it's because I live in Southern California. I believe it was the Orange County health department that one of the people there had to quit because of all the death threats, and I think her address was outed. I could be misremembering that
one. She was totally doxxed. The picture of her house.
And they weren't. Weren't protecting her, of course, because it's Orange County, and she had to quit. Health officials are quitting because of the harassment instead of people saying, "Hey, this is killing people. You should take it seriously."
Well, I'm just gonna say, and I'm done hijacking after this.
Oh, no, hijack all you want. I'm here.
But
You're here for a reason.
I'm a debater. Yeah. I'm a debate coach. My NDAs won't let you know which candidates I coach because they lost. But whatever. But I'm a debater. I'm a debate coach. And I was talking last Monday, actually it was last Tuesday before the debate, Tuesday late afternoon. Yeah. And I said, were I to be coaching the affirmative, the status quo, the current in office, I would channel Herman Cain, and I would make one point over and over and over. So Herman Cain's point was 999, 999. And I said, you channel Herman Cain because as the affirmative, you say the status quo is fine. Let us continue as we go. The negative is there to dispute anything. And if you have a good negative debater, they will point by point outscore you. So what you have to do is you have to build up your case, and you have to hammer home your main point. So whatever it is, 999. And I called on Herman Cain, and I think that in some weird way, Ancestor Cain heard and was like,
through the wind,
let me show you something, because he said nobody important died of this. 999.
He was just speaking to us in German. Nine.
And the Trump, the. So,
oh my indeed. God. Nine.
Indeed.
Oh my God. And my question is, if we, let's pretend as atheists that we believe in ghosts, which we don't, who is, let's take a vote on this, who, and it could be all three combined, who is taking their wrath out on these assholes from the
Ooh.
Rose Garden massacre. Now, I'm also calling it Ginsburg's final descent
Yes,
because
yes.
I think it's either it could be one of three people. Now, again, ghosts are real for this thought experiment. Is it Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Is it Jackie Onassis for fucking up her rose garden? Or is it
Mhm.
Herman Cain for saying nobody important died? I think they could be up there going, look, we got to work across the aisle on this one.
Yes, yes. I think Herman and Ruth.
I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg's like, look, we have to work together.
We gotta work
we gotta.
together.
It's like you two are on the other side. We got it. Let's cross the aisle. We can do it.
I think Scalia brought his friend Herman to his friend Ruth and said, "You two need to talk."
It's yeah.
I,
You
I,
see
you
what
know,
they're doing down there to your memory.
you know.
Go down and fuck up some shit. Just take the COVID and take it across the wind.
Something happened because I hadn't thought about Herman Cain despite his repeated tweeting in a while, and I brought him up just before the debate, and I said that just from a tactics point of view, this president needs to think of Herman Cain, and
I don't
I'm having
understand.
pizza.
Oh my god. Ooh, I just don't understand how they see somebody die after one of their rallies and still go, yeah, we're gonna keep doing this just the way we did, even though we're all a bunch of septuagenarians with heart problems. That's the thing that's totally not gonna hurt us in the end. Not at all. But like I mean, just to talk about the state of Trump, like where is Trump's health right now if we had to throw a dart and try to figure it out? He's on, so we know he's been on every single fucking therapy that they have, which is not what you do when someone doesn't have a fever and isn't having breathing problems and their oxygen isn't low. This morning, so I watched. I don't. So for the faithful out there watching, I watched the press conference this morning so that you guys wouldn't have to. And it's so sad watching these doctors who like they have a job and it's just to make us trust them about what they're saying about the president's health. And it's sad that we're at this point where we can't trust that at all. But they've given us enough information that we can kind of piece together how how bad it is. And like they've said things like, he's on like today, I think it was today they started him on dexamethasone. And dexamethasone is what you give people when they're starting with ARDS. That's not what you give people when they're, hold on a second. I randomly just found a bit of blood on my wrist and I have no idea where it's from.
Oh dear.
I'm like, where am I bleeding from?
Let's not have stigmata happening up in here. Check your palms real quick.
I'm like, I see. I appear to be fine, and I have no idea what happened. So I guess I'm okay. Somebody in the chat is asking. It's that I can't get rid of the troll that I've been trying to ban, and I cannot find his name. Why is he not? Like, why can I not find him in the chat? Anyways, the troll is asking us if we want Trump dead. Hey, I don't. Our desire of somebody's state of health has nothing to do with it. And you know what? I don't know if you think that us sending, like, if you think thoughts and prayers work, like, why haven't they stopped? I'll pray for Trump and I'll hope it works just as well as prayers work to stop shootings in schools. Okay, I'll pray for him. There we go. That's how much I hope he does better. Okay.
The White House is selling Trump defeats COVID t-shirts. So, I'm sure that we can trust the White House to be honest about how he's going. And to be blunt, I don't have enough time in my life to wish anything for this presidency. I don't care. I don't really care. Do you? I don't really care.
Yeah.
Children in cages, I don't really care. Do you?
No. All I want for him is for him to, here's the thing. What would work out best? And let's be honest. The thing that would actually work out best for everyone who's for the election is if he stays alive until after the election, no matter what state he's in, because the Republicans are trying to, like, they've already started with quote Operation MAGA, so that all of his campaign surrogates can go out on the stump for him, and it's like they're planning for him him not to be out of the hospital for a while. So it's like this doesn't, between that and all the other little signs that we have about his health. So him being on dexamethasone and them saying that his oxygen, like, yeah, his doctor was very cagey this morning and said that his oxygen, briefly dropped below, to unacceptable levels. He's like, yeah, at one point it dropped below 94%. Well, below 94% has 93 percentage points where it could possibly go to. Tell me where it was. But like when pressed on that, they said it never got to the low 80s. So where does that mean it was?
So is that 83 or is that 82 or is that a literal at 80?
Yeah, like is that like 80? I feel like 80, anything below 84 is low 80s, but like does that mean he was at 85, which is really fucking scary, and it would not be fixed in a day, especially if he's on dexamethasone, and they put people on dexamethasone if they are if they're at the point where they look like they're at ARDS, where they need steroids to suppress their immune system. Like steroids are not like if you give someone steroids, it means that their immune system is going into overdrive and attacking their lungs. Steroids are not to help their immune system beat the virus. Like this is it's bad.
And we are speculating. We are speculating.
Yeah, exactly.
We know nothing about what his heart is doing. We know nothing about the blood clots that doctors have been reporting in a lot of patients. We don't know anything about clotting. Yeah. We don't know anything about what his kidneys are doing. Remember that spate of kidney failures in New York patients? We also recognize that, let's be honest, let's say that this is only an overweight elderly individual, that this is not an obese individual. We're going to just make that concession. We have no idea what effect is happening with his liver. We have no effect. We don't know what's happening, with just his general metabolic demand. Oh, and I mean, so, there's a lot that can happen here. Yeah. There's a lot that can go wrong, but the White House is selling Trump defeats COVID t-shirts. Oh, yeah. So, commerce first.
Yeah. I mean, he is starting off, I would say, he's starting off in the hole in terms of being able to beat this thing, because like he starts off with, he starts off, number one, he's a guy, and that like men are twice as likely to have a bad outcome from this, either a serious case or a fatal case than women are. Mm-hmm. He's old. He is definitely obese. He has heart disease. We know, like as much as I love that his doctor is saying, oh, he has no other problems with his heart. He started off with heart disease. How could you say he has no other issues with his heart? He came in at this is what zero was for him. So he starts.
His diet is fast food.
Yeah, like
we know that there's some research that says that vitamin D. We know Walter Reed is giving him vitamin D, but we know that people who are deficient in vitamin D have had certain complications.
Yeah. And it's still unclear if that's correlation or causation, but at the same time, and the vitamin D won't treat it, but getting someone, it's not a bad idea to make sure someone's vitamin D levels are sufficient. But what worries me most about this is seeing the medication they gave him, the Regeneron, they gave him that on compassionate use, and I get it. He's the president; they're going to throw everything at him to try to keep him alive, and they're going to throw top of the line care. They're going to throw expensive care at him. But you don't throw an experimental drug at someone unless they're really fucking sick, especially the president, because that means it hasn't been tested enough yet. Mm-hmm. This is weird that they did that. It's the fact that he's on dexamethasone. And here's the thing: dexamethasone is one of few drugs that's been proven to work. At least they're not. If they want him to live, don't put him on hydroxychloroquine. Just saying. Like for everyone who's like, hey, remember, where are all the Trumpers telling people to put him on hydroxychloroquine? Not a single one. They're
I've
gone.
seen no bleach enemas mentioned
there's
at
not
all.
Fucking one telling us anymore hydroxychloroquine works. It's all dexamethasone and remdesivir for some reason when the president is sick. But he's I want to know why all the hydroxychloroquine he allegedly took a few months ago didn't prevent him from getting this. Just say.
Oh, that science foolishness. I mean, it doesn't prove anything. I just again, like I said earlier, Learning that there's a burn victim being treated makes me sad. Learning that it was a Klansman whose cross fell over makes me go, well, yeah, that's a risk you chose to take.
Yeah, like there's no sympathy here, and like I look at the end of this and go, he is he's not. Someone asked me to break down what this polyclonal means. So basically, the antibodies they're giving can it's I and I'm gonna I'm. I apologize because this explanation is not going to be great. I've only looked into this a little bit, but basically, the antibodies are used to attack certain points or to recognize and attack certain points on the DNA of the or on the whatchamacallit, on the virus. Now, the reason they use now the poly part of it. Now they've part of it is that they use a couple different antibodies because even these whatchamacallit, the places that they're trying to, or the spots on the DNA that they're trying to give you immunity to can mutate, obviously. But if you give multiple points for your body to recognize and have some immunity to, it gives you a much higher chance of helping your body recognize and gain immunity to this virus. Now, I know I screwed up some of that explanation. If there's somebody out there, there's probably an immunologist out there going, that was not good. But basically, the fact that they have multiple ways of giving you immunity to the same strain is just to prevent you from prevent a mutation from rendering this medication ineffective. And it's done through, I want to say, like I have to look into it a little bit more because it's still, an experimental drug. But I look at this and go, this is normally one of the doctors who consults on my page, like I have people who are way smarter than me consulting on my page because I am not a doctor. He looked at the polyclonal antibody thing, and he's like, this normally only this like the data. He said the data said it only works when it's administered early. And if Trump is at the point now where he needs dexamethasone and remdesivir, this is not early. He's at the point where his O2 is dropping below 90. This is not good. Like, and I mean, I say this as someone who's, like I said, chilling champagne, but while the doctors are trying to say to us, he'll be out tomorrow. He just had a couple of times where his O2 dropped below 90. That means he has lung infiltrates. That means he has lung damage. That means he might have pneumonia. These are like, and I mean, and I'm not saying this out of desire for this to be the case. I'm saying this because these people are lying to us. And we know they've lied to us because they lied to us at first about him getting oxygen. They tap danced around that and then admitted to us. It's hard to trust these people when all we need is the truth about what's happening to the person who's in charge of the country's health less than a month before the election. And somehow that's not coming out. But if I had to, here's what I think the country has to brace for psychically is that Donald Trump.
Oops.
I'll drop mine. In solidarity, I'll drop mine too.
Okay. Oh my God. What did I just do? Oh my God. That's. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I figured that way we could everyone could see the bottom of my computer.
Oh my God.
Hey, that way, you know what? The white balance on our whatchamacallit on our cameras are readjusting now. It just gave the screen a refresh. That's what we were doing. Look, I top of mine in solidarity.
Thank you so much. You know what? I forgot to turn off my notifications, and one just came through. Well, I noticed that one came through. It's Claudia Conway.
My husband just complimented your wood paneling, by the way.
Oh my goodness, thank you. My hubby built this.
Oh,
yes. Nice.
My hubby's is a good builder too. When one day the world is open again, we should get those two together.
And she shed showdown. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
My
Claudia Conway is sick. She's got coronavirus. And she just, half an hour tweeted it out that her mom got her sick.
Yeah, first of all, her TikTok is a treasure. I hate that her TikTok is a treasure because she's announcing the awful, awful shit that her, that her parents are doing. But there's this one video that she made that's she's making fun of her mom, going, "Yeah, it's fine, I can totally do it," and then gets the whole house sick. I'm like, oh my God, you poor thing. But here's the question. are Kellyanne Conway and George Conway still working or living together? We don't know the status of that marriage. And he's kind of in an at-risk group. He's older. He's very overweight. And he's a guy. Like, I'm just like, George Conway has been working really hard on an advertising campaign to hopefully get this president out. And as much as I think he's a George Bush Republican and he's bad, he has not worked to get Twitler into office. And I don't think that, the fact that Kellyanne Conway went to this irresponsibly, and passed it to the rest of her house. I'm like, maybe she's trying. This whole thing has been a long con to get a divorce, to get rid of her husband. I'm just saying.
It might have just worked. It might be crazy enough to just work.
But yeah, it's like I said, someone just let's all make it's hashtag save Claudia. It's like
Claudia.
People want to save the children. Start with Claudia Conway.
Give her the same treatment that the president is getting, because I believe the children are our future. And teach them well and let them lead the way. Give Claudia everything she. Oh my goodness. Yeah, come on, Claudia, we're pulling for you. So,
this thing it's such a mess, and it's like the sad thing is, like, there are obviously two finite options for what happened to Trump, and there's like couple options in between. There's the finite option if he fully recovers and he dies, and like the country has to psychically prepare themselves for the country for the president dying. But the other option is he gets out of the hospital or he comes back into public life in 2 to 3 weeks, so weak and feeling just like everyone else we know who's gone through COVID and who's like, it's been 6 weeks and I can barely get out of bed. Like, the fact that he's barely tweeting, he's the only pictures we're seeing of him are staged. We're not getting I want to see a video of him holding a newspaper and talking live. Like, that's at this point, like it's just. And here's the thing: I don't think people would be that conspiratorial about it if they hadn't lied to us. But that's what they've done.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
And this
is where we are.
Here's a quick question, just because I'm evil and I occasionally have bad thoughts. So there were 8 people in that debate prep room, including Donald Trump, and so far 5 of them have gotten COVID, and the other 3 are Stephen Miller, Rudy Giuliani, and Jason. What's his face? Is it Miller? I don't know. It's Jason
Miller.
Yeah, I love that they're 2 Miller. Anyways, I believe unrelated. Anyways, Jason Miller is on the shows this morning, and he was dumbing all over the place. I think he doesn't understand how testing works. I think he thinks if you test a lot, that means you get rid of COVID. Like, there's something very broken there, but we're still like, they seem to think that because they've been tested like once that they're out of the woods. Like, no, you've got an extra 10 days minimum. And
every point of contact is a potential point of infection.
Yeah.
And if you do not, one thing I will say for these people who supported like abstinence only education or whatever, like, they don't understand that that's the bubble gum thing. Like, where you take a piece of bubble gum and chew it and say, okay, now if you chew it, and if you chew it, and if you chew it. No, it's not about how many people you've had sex with. It's like, if you've breathed somebody else's air, it's like they chewed your gum. If they breathed that other person's air, it's like that person and that person also chewed the gum that you are chewing. That's how, you think they'd understand that because they've been shaming girls
but think about it this way.
Years.
These are people who also, since they believe in abstinence-only sex education, that means they probably don't believe in condoms, which could explain their misunderstanding of masks.
And why it's under the nose.
It's God, like,
ta-da!
How do they not know that the nose is connected to the lungs?
See, well, because Jesus did it that way.
Oh man!
I don't know. I actually had to learn actual anatomy and physiology.
Have you found yourself have you ever at this point found yourself in a store seeing someone with the thing below their nose and afraid to say something because you've seen too many people get into fights? Like I used to tell people, hey, your mask slipped, because I thought they might have not be aware. Now I'm like, I don't want to say a word to anyone. I'm just walking away.
I will not say anything
Yeah,
if I am with my child
that makes
because, yeah,
yeah.
however, I will be honest, there have been times where I've been in a store by myself, and
Yeah.
I'm not the least imposing person you're ever going to see. And then I've got the audacity to be black too. So clearly I'm violent and a
How
threat,
dare you?
but, I have turned around and said, either you back up.
Yeah.
I've never had to finish the sentence. Um, Either you back up or I've said to be more
Yeah.
polite, that's not 6 feet,
I think
you know.
I'm grabbing that. That's not
And I'm pretty aggressive with my shopping cart. I've actually like moved it and leaned on it like this, like, yeah, okay, yeah, clearly I'm standing here. You go around. I'd rather be alive than polite. And
yeah, yeah,
if these
yeah.
are
You
people
you can't be
who are,
polite later if you're dead.
I will tell you, and I started, but I was with my kids, so I didn't take pictures. I saw and I counted 6 different people wearing MAGA or Trump 2020 hats with masks properly worn today. I'm like, I don't know if I like that or if
You know,
I
like
don't like that. I
here's
don't
the
know.
thing. I would have loved it. Like it's, and I've said this for a long time. There was this really, really, really wonderful video that was put out from the New York Times that had, what's his face? I want to say Jamie Harris's name, former Vox videographer, who used to do the series Borders. He had it, and he came out going through, what's happened with the COVIDs over. God, I had a point with that before. I so rudely lost my train of thoughts. This happens to me a lot. Shit. Where was I going with that ramble?
The Trump 2020
Oh yeah, the
masks.
Trump.
Yeah.
It's now, and it was going through the health communications aspect of it, and it's like if we, and I've said this for a long time, if from the very beginning of this we had all, like, other countries have had consistent, clear communication on what, like, and obviously there have been missteps because we didn't know how it spread, we didn't know what, masks or no masks at first, but if other countries, as soon as things were understood by science, the messaging would get out and be clear and consistent from their leaders. Like the places where things have been okay, they've had consistent SciComm. Like I'm friends with Susie Wiles, who's this wonderful scientist and science communicator in New Zealand, and she's been working with the Prime Minister to get the science communicated to people. And like people have like memorialized her in so many things because they're like our Queen of Science, Susie, is saving us, and that's not happening here because we haven't had any consistent SciComm coming out of any major agency because they've all been tainted politically. And this
Mhm.
isn't something like and I just don't know how masks ever got politicized. But I look at this and go, I would have loved, and I say this genuinely, and I it was hard to say thank you to Trump when he did it finally because he did it in the most dickish way possible. But like if he had come out at the beginning of this all and said, and instead of 4 months in, and said masks are patriotic and they're a great way to show that you love your country and love your fellow citizen. I wear a mask. I want you all to wear masks too to show. And like I wouldn't have, like, they could have called them freedom faces or MAGA masks or whatever
Mhm.
the fuck they wanted. I would have been thrilled. Like if he had just stayed consistent on one goddamn thing. Couldn't do it.
He would have danced to a very easy second term
Yes. Yes.
if he had
Yes.
done that.
If
And
he had,
if he had said, we're doing everything in
yeah,
power, in our power to tamp down this plague.
yeah.
I'm just, this is not about politics. This Fauci dude, he's going to talk to you,
Like,
and
and
this
there were,
Burks lady, she's going to talk to you. Oh yeah, she's a doctor too.
yeah, and
And
there were
stand back.
brief moments where I was like, oh, Trump seems to be taking this serious. Fuck. The next day he would be not taking it seriously again. And like it was like he toyed with maybe pretending it was real. And it's like it burns now to know that he always knew how bad it was. Like, now that Woodward's audio tapes and the book has come out, like, oh, he always knew and he just didn't fucking care about any of us.
Nope. Nope.
That burns even worse. And it's like if we, like, it makes you wonder like what the technique or what the thoughts were behind the scenes there on why didn't we tell people? Was there a reasoning? Were we aiming for something with keeping that information back? And probably did they think it would just not, what it would just, I mean, yeah, they did say it would just go away on its own, but did they think if they ignored the problem, it would just go away unlike it had everywhere else? I'm just,
It's a mess. It's a
yeah,
mess.
but yeah, we're
Oh,
Rudy over in the comments just said COVID-19 task force is now muzzled. I don't even think is there even the task force anymore? Does it even exist? Like, I feel like it's
I've heard
gone.
nothing from them. Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah, like I mean, oh man. So I'm just, yeah, we're at a weird point where we don't know who's in charge of this. If like I wonder what happens when all the people who were on the task force catch coronavirus from the super spreader event.
um,
Oops. I mean, not that anything will
thoughts and
change.
prayers.
Yeah,
Thoughts
it's
and
not.
prayers.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, what's scary. I believe Pence was at the event too, where everyone was exposed, and he's not quarantining. Bill Barr, very obvious. Like Bill Barr is definitely like the center of my COVID-19 bingo card. Like, and all right, so I'm going to make a joke right now that's in poor taste, and I hope you guys will forgive me for it. So I'm first I'm going to tell you about a George Carlin joke, and then I'm going to apply it to a different situation. So there was an old George Carlin joke talking about bankers ruining the economy, because
Mhm.
that's the thing that happens obviously in late stage capitalism. He's like, he's like, none of these soft white pussy ass bankers who have destroyed the economy. None of them have seen a minute of jail. I'm totally fucking up the delivery. None of them have seen a minute of jail time. Now, I'm not proposing that we kill all of the bankers. Just two of the bankers.
Mhm.
Two of them halftime execution on a cross upside down at the football game, and
Mhm.
that will get some of these bankers in line. That will scare them off from some of the shit they're doing. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm not saying that I want all the people in the Trump administration, all the people who have flouted these rules and spread it intentionally, like an AIDS super spreader in the 80s that we would have sent to jail. I'm not saying I want all of these Trump administration assholes who have made this thing worse for all of us to die. But give me two good deaths. Just two, and maybe these
There,
assholes will take it seriously. Now, I want to know what it will take. I feel Bill Barr might do it.
I'm not picky.
Look, Mitch McConnell, Bill Barr.
You
Like I
know,
was saying Lindsey Graham, but it seems like Jamie Harrison is going to kick him out of office, which I love. Did you see that debate?
plexiglass pleasure,
Oh
baby.
my god, he was amazing. Like I want to hug him after we're both immune. Like,
I know. Yeah,
like
I was like,
I'm not just excited for Graham getting out of office. I'm excited because he's good. He's
yeah.
really good. So
An actual civil servant who will be civil and serve his constituents. Like, oh my God.
he knows his community. He cares about it. He has wonderful plans. Like I'm like, this guy is definitely. This is someone who I want working in the Senate and proposing new legislation, and more important, and let me rephrase that. Secondary to that, Lindsey Graham won't be there anymore. I'm excited to see the guy. I'm excited to see this person from watching how
Oh my
good he
goodness.
was in that debate. I was just blown away. I'm like, wow. Like there's
Yeah.
like you never expect, basically because nobody ever de-seats these fucking pricks. You never expect anything to come out of these debates, but all of a sudden, like money was flowing into the campaign. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. There. Keep hope alive, indeed.
yeah, it's possible we might actually get out of this thing with the Senate back. Like I don't know. I think we're going to win back. Both the Senate and the presidency in a free and fair election. Ugh.
That's therein lies the rub. I'm the voter suppression tactics are extreme, and frankly, if any
Yeah,
other regime was doing the same things that this country is doing, the UN would be
yeah,
all over it.
yeah,
The purges that have happened, the gerrymandering that's happened, the fact that there are places where the structure is set up such that you don't even need to gerrymander. You simply, if you are the minority party, you cannot get a majority. Now, in Massachusetts, if you're a Republican, you cannot have a district drawn to get a Republican majority. You can't. It's just there.
it's
It's impossible to do. Um, and I'm very much oversimplifying this.
I say this as a former Massachusetts resident. I'm like, it's
You
probably
know,
because there aren't that many. It's
well,
there. It's
it's a third of the state
it's
are
to be
Republican.
I mean, to be fair though, that is one of two states in the country that every single county went for Hillary Clinton last election. One of two states,
Yeah,
the other one being Hawaii.
yeah.
So so Massachusetts is intensely blue. And I think like
Yeah,
I say that as being I was born there and I lived there for a lot of my life. But no,
yeah,
you are
yeah.
and it's interesting how they divide up districts. It's
Right.
in
And
yeah.
I grew up in Pittsburgh. I come from Arlen Specter. I come from
Mm,
Senator John Hines. I
yeah.
come from a place where in the 80s you could not look at a person and tell her politics by what she looks like. Today you are pretty much able to use race as proxy for
Yeah.
party.
Oh, I thought you
And
were going to talk about my kitty ears. We're making the obvious. It's like you have bright pink hair. We know where you're from.
but the thing about it is, unfortunately, um, being that race is a protected class, and you have voter suppression that's not working against party, it's working against race.
Yeah.
You run into all of these different issues. So in a free and fair election, I think things would be very different in a free and fair election where we
Yeah.
didn't have an electoral college acting as, the proxy for white landowning males at the time
Yeah.
of the Constitution. We would be having coronavirus under President Hillary Clinton. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
It's
she
and you know
recovered
what?
from her pneumonia.
It's and Donald Trump made fun of her at his there are videos out there of him being a dick about her getting pneumonia, and I'm just saying she was not hospitalized and put on oxygen for that.
Mm.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
So we'll find out. We'll find out. I believe the chicanery is going to run with this, and I'm very skeptical about the fairness of
Oh
these
yeah,
elections.
I'm terrified of what will go on. And this is like now. I know I've said there are two possibilities for Trump. He will live or die. Obviously, that is a possibility for us every single day of our lives. But he has a higher chance of it right now, according to everything we know about his health status. Now, here's the thing with, and I've said this before. The thing with the possibility of him dying is that it's like cutting the head off of the organization. Like he's not. It's not just a normal Republican president. He's the head of a cult of personality,
Hmm.
the same people that are there for the cult aren't going to show up for Mike Pence. They're show up for this lump of a personality, this potato of a man. That's not going to happen. But like I look at that and go, you get rid of Trump, and let me rephrase this: if Trump of natural causes is no longer with us, he's the whole thing falls apart because they've given up their like we saw the Republican National Convention, and it was the whole platform was no longer Republicanism, it was Trumpism. So when
Hmm.
they when if Trump is gone, therein goes the party. And I've heard people say, no, I want him still alive so that he can go to jail. Do you think he'll still go to jail if he's alive? Like how does that happen? Who's going to put him in
Oh,
jail? Like
New York, those federal prosecutors in New York
here's what
are
I worry
not
about.
okay.
If he's still in power, he will rig it so that he stays in. Like it's, I worry that because he has machinery in place that can keep him in office, even if he doesn't win in a free and fair election, he can stay in office and try to insulate himself from the New York State or the SDNY, and that
It's
concerns me.
I I I think that the bar the attorney general bar is compromised,
Yeah,
that this is not the people's attorney general, this is the Trump advocacy. And
yeah,
because of that, my only hope for justice coming to this administration is from the state of New York, who have been chomping at the bit to get their mitts on this guy. I
yeah.
I I deeply believe that that is from where the legal salvation will come.
Yeah.
And I have deep trust in that. I don't see any federal consequences, but I think the
No,
state
you're
is
right.
going to put screws to them in the way that we ain't seen since the Inquisition.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
Hopefully.
I see someone commenting from YouTube. You guys are hallucinating, and you think that that he's going to jail now. LOL. I'm like, yeah, because he broke the law, and he's millions of dollars. He's being charged for hundreds of millions of dollars in tax fraud. So yeah, that's or being investigated. So sorry, not charged, investigated. Like he's literally like he's you know how people think he's or thought he was a millionaire. He's $1.1 billion in debt, which is incredible. Like
Like,
I
I
just
can't even get a loan. Like, I can't even get a student loan for more than what my
yeah
program is worth.
yeah like
And he gets to be $1 billion in debt.
Yeah,
Ah.
what I love about that, like I've been a government employer. I've worked for a government contractor as a chemist researching explosive scatter, and you had to get a security clearance to do that. So I had a secret clearance at one point, and you have to disclose all of your financial shit. They contact all of your friends. They got like there was a ton of paperwork, and one of the things they really look at are your finances to see if you're bribable. Because if you're in
Mhm.
financial deep shit, yeah, you could be bribed, and that makes perfect sense. And Trump is $1.1 billion worth of bribable. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Mhm.
that's a lot of bribable, and I don't understand how people can look at this and go, "Oh, it's fine." Great businessman.
Oh yeah, brilliant, brilliant.
I just this
That
is as good of a businessman as he is an epidemiologist. He's just not. I just have a knack for this stuff. I just get it. They're so like impressed with me. So
yeah.
it's our YouTube troll told me a lot of people have a security clearance. You're not a special cupcake. Well, my mom says I'm a very special cupcake, dear. But here's the thing: I don't think I'm a special cupcake for having a security clearance. I think that Trump shouldn't have one because if he wasn't president, he would never get one due to his financial issues. Okay, that's
Mhm.
what I was saying, and I understand trying to deliberately misunderstand people is a thing that you guys do, but get the fuck out of here. They're up. Go to Parlor. Go to Parlor. Go to
Mhm.
Infowars. Go to somewhere else that
This
wants
this
you.
what is it? Stormfront.org. Do they still exist? I
Oh
don't
shit! It's
know.
they're one of the God. What was it? Stormfront. Is it Stormfront or what is all the random different white supremacist websites? I'm sure there's a
Yeah,
place for this guy somewhere on the internet.
yeah,
It's the Proud
yeah.
Boys will take you. Who it's
Yeah,
I
the Proud Boys. They're so cute. Have you seen?
oh yeah.
Like
It's
all
oh
their, I'm
did
like,
you see the new hashtag?
yeah,
Like on
I mean, just
all of the
spread
very
love and rainbows. Go
oh
Proud
yeah.
Boys.
All of
Yay.
the happy gay men on Twitter. Yeah, that's I want to see every single I want to see every single tweet about the Proud Boys being countered with just just every single GIF we can possibly find of every happy gay couple making out behind just below it. Like to show me the real Proud Boys. Hashtag
Oh
reclaim
yeah,
Proud Boys.
absolutely. Oh my
I'm
God, they're so cute.
I just it was just so much fun. It was so lovely just scrolling through Twitter last night being like gay men making out, gay men making out, gay men making out, Proud Boys
Yeah,
like I want for the rest of the other Proud let's call them the other Proud Boys. Of the other
wait,
Proud
wait. Those are the only Proud Boys I acknowledge. I mean, hey,
You're like I
shirtless, oiled, hot.
dancing
You know,
around in rainbow
I
panties. Oof.
exactly. If we both can't lust
We
after the same
we
Chippendales, you're not
stand
really a
those
Proud Boy.
we stand one group of proud we stand the only Proud Boys we recognize are the ones in rainbow panties.
Absolutely. Oh
So
yeah.
we're
Preferably with guy liner because if you can't make
it's
your eyes
I
all beautiful
I
and
it's wait it's I know you have you have a thing for him because I've seen the status you posted about Lisa Bonet. So
oh
speaking of
my
which,
God, yeah.
did you you know who I'm about to say?
Oh yeah.
Jason Momoa
Oh,
with guy
oh,
liner. So yeah,
oh.
do you like him better with the guy liner that he had in Game of Thrones?
You know, I have never once watched an episode of Game of Thrones.
Don't bother. Like, here's the
Um,
problem with the show is that season 8 makes you feel like you watched 7 seasons of this thing for a thing that just made the last 8 seasons like or what you're like, what did I get through that for? Like the 8th season was worse than I would have expected.
Wow. Okay. So, Jason Momoa honestly can do whatever he wants. I do like the guy liner look on him, but I'm just so in love with it. And then Lenny Kravitz, Lisa Bonet needs to teach classes. Okay, Lisa
Yes,
Bonet needs to
right,
teach me classes. I bet
right.
the little
Like,
boy who like she
I,
held hands with in kindergarten is like probably like the most beautiful
oh,
man ever. Like,
oh,
and I would happily take
yeah.
Lisa Bonet's sloppy 30 seconds. I mean, anybody tangentially
Like
that she's
somehow,
ever had anything to
like,
do with.
did you see Lenny Kravitz on the? I don't even remember the
On the
cover of the
cover of Men's
magazine.
Health, yes,
All
yes,
all I
yes.
saw was Lenny Kravitz on cover and looked down and saw abs, and I was like, God damn it, Lisa Bonet. Just
I
write a
mean,
book. All you need to do is write a book, and like seeing the pictures of Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa hugging, like just like
I
oh,
know.
it's so
I know.
these things made me
Like,
happy. These things
I
made me
just,
so happy. Look,
see,
the world is dark and bleak, and occasionally I'm just happy that there are there are men having genuine friendships, and there are beautiful people hugging,
I
and and
know.
Lenny Kravitz exists. We exist at the same time in the universe as Lenny Kravitz. This is an okay
I,
thing, and
hey,
and Jason Momoa, and Lisa,
and
and we
Jason Bo.
and we
Momoa.
need Lisa Bonet's secrets.
We
All
need
women,
her to tell us everything that she's ever known,
it's look,
and then I would totally not just buy her book, but I would like commission a series.
oh yeah.
What if Lisa Bonet like did a like relationship show? That would be awesome. Like,
Like
I'm tired of, I don't want to watch the damn Red Table talk. Screw that. I want Lisa Bonet to be like, here's how to do relationships.
it's
This is what it is.
it's like here's how I made these things turn awesome. Just like I want it. I will read that. Like I feel like my relationship works is pretty good, but I will still read that book.
Oh my God, yes.
I will. It's so it's like Akiko just commented. Thank dog for Henry Cable too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's I have one of my my moderator team, like I'll just occasionally like send them a picture, like it's like when they've had a bad day I'll just occasionally send them a picture of Jason sorry, not Jason Momoa, dear God, of Henry Cable, and like it's like our daily pick me up is the Henry Cable pictures. Just
Oh,
he's it's like
beautifulness.
he has a jawline that's almost illegally good. Like, how is that okay? That's not accept. That just it hurts us. It burns us. I want to keep staring. He's so pretty. Yeah. Look, in a world this bleak and dark, and with all this death and suffering and horribleness, we still have Henry Cable's abs. We still have another
Uh,
season of The Witcher coming to us. There are good things
there
out
are good
there.
things. Yes, there are. And you know what? Election day is but a month away. And
Yeah.
if we got through March 2020, we can get through October.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's not like there's a giant
somebody
meteor headed for us or
no.
anything. I mean,
It's
we can recover from this.
somebody in chat just asked, so Trump with COVID, the anti-science movement, world pandemic, have we digressed? I'm like, I'm not sure if you're asking if our conversation has digressed or if the world as a whole has digressed, but yes to both. There's your answer. Look, it's a long, hard world. I need conversations with my girlfriends, and you guys just get to listen in on them occasionally.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, it's look. Here's the thing. We are about 2 hours into this, which means we're about at wrap it up time, because I'm sure you have other shit you want to do today, and I eventually am going to have to pee because I've had way too much coffee. Clearly, clearly. But man, like, here's the thing. We could end up like if Trump, if there is a major shift in Trump's health this week, I can't speak for you, but I will be back on here chatting with y'all about it, to talk about the health implications, what we know about the COVID, all that good stuff. It is a scary. All right, so it's. I'll get back to you in a moment, Akiko. It's a scary moment a very tenuous moment in his health, because we've been given enough things that are uncertain, that sound like he is at possibly approaching ARDS. That it's like people don't get put on dexamethasone unless they are sick. They don't get put on oxygen for this if they have a legitimately mild case. He's sicker than they're letting on, and we don't know why. Whether it's for political reasons or whether it's because he's very, very sick and they want to keep people calm, or we're not sure. But either way, it's a little terrifying right now to know that this is the level of transparency we're getting from medical professionals in an extremely serious situation for the country. So I hope that I hope that you guys are going like, well, I'm going through an existential panic on this. Say like as Jamila said, getting up in the middle of the night and reading for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. Like I'm staying up late and reading, and as soon as the first thing slightly wakes me up, I'm awake and just how much news can I find? Where are all the leaked reports of who has what the stats are on his health? So I'm trying to keep up with it. It's going to be a little it's going to be a little nutty for the next week or so. And the horrifying thing is that things can shift very quickly, both for the state of the White House right now and for how this affects the election. But I think that even if this case gets more serious, I don't think it'll affect the election results is what it comes down to. I think again, free and fair election, Trump is not going to make it. Somebody on YouTube just asked, how come it's okay to talk so much about Trump's health, but we weren't allowed to pay half as much attention to Hillary when she had a seizure in public? First, she did not have a seizure. She passed out. Fainting is not uncommon, especially when it's in the summer in DC and you've been wearing a suit and under hot lights all day, and you also have pneumonia. And I'm not sure about you, but I remember a ton of speculation about her. Commercials attacking her, videos edited.
Her energy, her mental health, her
stamina.
All of that. That's not a fair comparison.
Oh yeah,
and she also was not elected to the highest office in the land. And there isn't a constitutional amendment directly addressing what should happen should Hillary passed out have happened. There is a constitutional amendment dictating what happens if the president of the United States goes into a state where he can no longer govern. So talking about that is in service of democracy.
Yeah, like it's
not something that doesn't have consequence.
Yeah, there's a very big difference right now, because if Hillary Clinton had it's, and I mean, if she had passed away while she was campaigning, it would have done nothing to the safety and security of the country at that point in time. It would have done absolutely nothing. The reason that speculating on the health of the president while he's having a health crisis is normal is because he's the fucking president and he's ill with a deadly illness. You fucking moron who thinks that this is a hoax. Exactly. That he was like, this is fine. We can ignore all the science advice that we're getting. Like, it's Hillary caught pneumonia because that's the thing that happens. And sometimes people get sick, and she wasn't the president. She wasn't holding any office. This guy flouted a ton of rules, told people go out and hug everyone. You lick a toilet seat if you want. And then he flouts the rules after he probably knows he's sick. And he's very sick with the thing that everyone else he's just told it's fine, it'll go away like the flu. So you know what, I don't feel any need to not it'd be weird if we don't discuss this. It'd be very strange to avoid the subject. I'm fine with him going away. It's the same person on YouTube just said that we're name calling him. We haven't name called him yet. Let's start.
I haven't name called him.
You know what? Because we just got accused of name calling him, I think we should start. If we're gonna get accused of this, no matter what. I really enjoyed when Jon Stewart called him fuckface Von Clownstick, but I think we've moved on from there. Like Twitler was a thing for a while, but that's it's like I feel like comparisons to Twitler or to Hitler are mean to Hitler. He's been dead for a while. I'm Jewish. I say let the man be. I kid.
I just, I like Cheeto because it reminds me that, I shouldn't ingest fluorescent orange foods that aren't found in nature.
Yeah.
Cheeto reminds me to eat healthy.
It's... Yep. Yeah. I want to see Emily over on Facebook. Emily Gordon just said angry apricot. I like calling him the douche lord in chief. That's my latest douche lord or douche whistle. Those are my two that I've been going with lately. They roll off the tongue. But douche lord seems to work because it seems to work with that attitude that he's got, like with the douche lord army. So
Oh yeah.
I like that one. Douche lord in chief is my latest, but it's very it is very strange to see people being like, "What? How dare you do the things that we've been doing to you for years, and saying that you're
Hmm.
snowflakes for us doing to." Uh, oh man,
What about those T-shirt? Trump 2020 F your feelings. I mean, come
yeah,
on. You
yeah. I
know,
mean, maybe we
so
just wanted people like I can take a lot
it's honoring the president to
exactly.
disregard other people's feelings and to be insensitive and crass.
Oh yeah, he
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 bragged
would
about
want it this
assaulting
way.
women. So like
Yeah,
I'm not even there. I don't assault people. I wouldn't assault people, and I certainly wouldn't brag about it. So
it's
like I'm not
I
even as good as it as he is.
I prefer presidents who didn't catch COVID. Look,
Yep.
just I just I cannot abide this whole "you're not being compassionate enough" thing to a man who said that, said I prefer prisoners who don't get captured, like made like every last like we could list off every horrible thing he's done, but like don't fucking make me.
When he had, you know
Go
what?
ahead.
I am somebody who I don't get upset about stuff real easily. But
Yeah,
when I watched that man denigrate the son of Joe Biden the way he
yeah,
did, and to talk such crap the way he did, I'm not. Look, I come from a place where you can talk all the mess you want, but you when it comes to family and stuff, you should expect to lose a tooth or two. The fact that Joe Biden did not take the bait and talk about Beavis Butthead and wife in training. Tiffany, Tiffany gets a pass. Tiffany gets a pass from me. Um, that was just painful. That
yeah.
was hurtful. For the party of good Christian people who believe in decorum. I don't know how anybody could have stood by and watched that. Joe Biden's sons served this country. Joe Biden has served this country.
Yeah.
What has Donald Trump done? But have a TV game show,
Yeah. That
and a bunch of
almost kept
foreign
him
wives.
afloat.
Yeah.
The TV show that almost kept him afloat with all the debts that he was getting into.
you
Just
know.
it's hopefully he will no longer be a part of the political scene soon, either through getting either through being elected out of office, or natural causes, so to speak. So we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes. I think it's cute that someone's over on YouTube. It's very mad that they're very mad they're mad that we're swearing. They were mad about the word fuck because they said it made me sound unintelligent. And I'm like, you understand that you elected President Pussy Grabber, right? I wanna
Shithole
make sure.
countries.
Shithole
Yeah.
countries. President
Yeah.
Pussy Grabber. Okay, didn't he call China motherfuckers? Like, listen, you
Uh,
motherfuckers. I just
he did. He did. I'd forgotten about that one.
like
We're not
I don't want
sitting
a
there judge
lecture.
people here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't give me a lecture on swearing from the fuck your feelings people, from the people that obviously swear constantly, from the people that feel fine with it. Like the pussy grabbers do not get to tell me not to say fuck. Okay, just
Yeah.
go away. Go away. You guys are literally losing. You're losing by what is technically referred to by a landslide right now. You're down by about 10 points in the
Do
presidential
you
polling.
dis
Don't
do you,
go ahead. It's like go off.
you know the hard part for me is that there are people who will still stand by this president who refuse to repudiate white supremacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Even if he goes, yeah, sure. I mean,
That
I
was
wouldn't
not
have believed it,
like
but that would have been. He didn't even give the lip service.
no.
I you know,
Like
th- you know, I'm related to somebody who runs a Blacks for Trump chapter.
oh my
You
god.
know,
Whew.
I
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Well, we can pick our noses and we can pick our friends, but we can't pick
Can't.
our friends' noses and relatives. So whatever. But and to be honest, um, I can understand if I were a Haitian person, like the Clinton
Yeah.
Foundation screwed up in Haiti so badly. I can see how there are Haitian Americans who are like, I'm not voting for
Yeah.
Clinton, and I'm not voting for Biden because
Mm.
fine.
If you have
But
a personal thing that happened with it, I can understand it.
but
However,
to know that somebody who thinks that white supremacists who want to start a race war are very fine people. Like, okay, so I'm done with you. I'm done with you. And if I see you on my friends' walls on Facebook, I'm going to laugh at you publicly. And if you come to my wall, I'm going to. I mean, most of the people have taken themselves out as trash, but it's just there's more at stake than just the democracy. And if you're too wedded to the idea of my inferiority to stand up for it, then you are absolutely my enemy, and that's just the way it is.
yep. It's like I think that people, when they hear the call to be anti-racist as opposed to just being, it's like, hey, you should not be racist. Like there's people balk and they go, why are you're calling you're saying a thing to me that's saying that I've been bad. It's like, we have to get out and get proactive about standing up for our friends that are on the receiving, not just our friends, but the entire culture that is on the receiving end of this. And it's like I think that there's been a ball I'm not saying anything revolutionary. There's been a ball dropped on the part of people that are as pale as me. But like it's been a very strange, I guess, awakening in the last couple of years. I had well, about this. You're a close friend of mine. It's a couple of years ago. I found out, I did not know I was genetically Jewish until a couple of years ago. It's a very strange thing to find out randomly in your 30s. But like it's been. I had never been called a racial slur until like my mid 30s, and to be called the K word, which if you're not familiar with it, there's a really nasty slur for Jews, and it's like it's strange when you suddenly get othered like that, and you see that there are people out there that see you as subhuman, and you see people out there that are there are literal Nazis. Out there that look at me and go and go, oh, you're white passing. And there's whatever category they put people into, they've decided that I'm not in the category of people that's allowed to live. And I'm like, I know that there's whoever makes these decisions, they look at it and go, you're white for now. But you're the first one off the ship.
We'll get around to you.
Yeah, you're white right now, and you're the first one off the ship. And I'm like, if I don't stand, like, I have to stand up for everyone else that's on, that's already been pushed off the ship, because I don't think it's okay if like it's like my relatives barely made it over here before the pogroms they were in were burned. Like I don't see how I don't see how a Stephen Miller happens. I don't understand how somebody who's from my ethnic background, who's Jewish, comes over here, their family comes over here, escapes that horrible persecution, and sees what's happening to other marginalized groups and doesn't get furious and doesn't stand up for other groups. So I'm like, I don't understand that mindset. And I'm just, I want this all to be less bad. And I think that people should be, I wish there were more people standing up for people that were on there, that I look at my Jewish friends and I'm like, could we be a little bit more proactive about this? Because you see how these people are going to treat us too. This is not okay.
Yeah.
So, but
soon.
sooner
We will go to the polls, and
Yep.
the the struggle goes on.
Yeah.
Fixing the planet's a big job, and there's a lot to do.
Yeah, we will get there. Anyways, it's been over 2 hours. We've been going at this for a while, and I'm sure that we could keep rambling for a while. But I think it's yesterday I live streamed for, oh my God, how long was it? 6 hours. And I believe I have Patreon calls later today for the other for the porn podcast, because I have a long day. Anyways, it has been wonderful hanging out with you.
Yes.
Over
Oh my God, yes.
over on YouTube, someone with the screen name "Be Excellent to Each Other" just commented, "Makeup, Jamila, your makeup is awesome." So people.
Oh,
People can look delightful. It's this is wonderful. Anyways, it's thank you so much for hanging out with me. So it's for whatever reason. I remember last time for the 20 minutes that we were on here, I had a thing saying to follow Jamila, go to JV on Twitter, and today it wouldn't let me add any new captions. So where can people go to follow you online?
I'm followable on Twitter, JBEY, J-Bay. I've got 4 letters, J-Bay. And then, I'm on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook.
You have a personal profile that's verified. You're fancy.
Oh my God. Yeah. But Twitter won't verify me. And I'm like,
you're a journalist, and that's so weird that they won't.
No. Well, yeah.
I got in this brief period where they were letting people apply to be verified, and they were and they were in like within a day. And there was this very brief window where that happened. And I think they were just like going like mass, like, approve anyone who applied in this like 2-month period was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Here's your blue check mark.
Yeah. So, well, I just gotta publish some stuff, which is coming. I'm working on.
Been there.
Yeah.
I have things I'm sitting on. It'll happen eventually. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's like one of the hardest parts about doing this job, especially with how fast things change lately, is I wrote a thing, and from when I wrote it 2 days ago till now, it's obsolete.
Right.
That has been the hardest part with COVID, especially, is like I've had to write articles that by the time they've gone from writing them to published, like within a day of like the final editing, I'm like, we have to go over this again because we've now published outdated information, and I can't have that happen. And that's part of the reason why I switched to live streams, was I'm like, okay, I can tell people and tell them this is transient. This might change tomorrow. Like putting it in print though, man, people will nail your ass to the wall for that. But
oh God, anyways, tell me about it.
Anyways,
I love you, Yvette. Thank you for having me on. You are wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping to spread science and reason to the world.
Thank you for coming on and helping me. I don't know what the plans are for election night, but if you don't have plans, I can swing maybe
I'm bouncing around on election night, so I got to keep my wits about me. But I'll definitely spend a few minutes with you.
So I'm gonna see if I can get like a small rotating cast of people on here to try to help us not go so crazy. Anyways, it has been so wonderful. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I know sometimes I hang out after this, but like it's been long. I'm tired. Yeah. I will see you guys I will see you guys on Friday. Do me a favor, you guys. Wash your hands. Wear your masks. Hold on 1 second, because there's a thing that we normally do, and for whatever reason, a long time ago, we started with a joke that we wanted to see if coronavirus could be passed through a computer screen. So I tend to lick the screen occasionally just to keep checking. Would you like to join me in a screen lick, or is that too much for you?
I will. I'll see what happens. I'm probably going to knock my thing over again. So here, how about this?
There we go. There you go, guys. We got our lick in. So
excellent.
There we go. Right. I apologize for almost forgetting the lick, guys. Anyways, it's been wonderful. Wash your hands, wear your masks. I love you guys, and we will see you guys next Friday.
Bye-bye.